I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, Eddie, how are you going to get your welder in and out past the big eater? I have an answer for that. It's not pretty, but, well, here it is. I chopped a big hole in the floor. I didn't cut all of it out because I wanted to be able to walk around it. I'll come up with something better later. Right now I need to do some patching up. And I see I'm out of ice for the oxygen generator, so I'd better fetch some of that. So I need a miner, which means my old grinding boat is getting a serious overhaul. So, miner. I've doubled its cargo capacity, gave it 2 headlights, 2 gyroscopes, and 2 scanners so I can compare them, upgraded the thrusters and reactor to azimuth, and added an onboard oxygen generator since it's going to be picking up ice. So, let's go pick up some ice.
Storm inbound.
Well, that wasn't too hard to find. It's taking a while to collect, though. I should put more drills on this boat. There we are. I'm not fully loaded, but it should be enough to keep me breathing for a while. I also dug up some magnesium so I can make ammo for the turrets. And now that I have ammo, I want to put in some more turrets, or at least replace the ones I've already lost. And clearly I'm going to have to do some patching as well. Okay, I'm coming back from a bit of a rage quit. You see, we just had the landing gear update, which is nice, although I hardly ever use landing gear. But I was connecting my empty welder after a little patching, and as I connected, I thought the connector grabbed me a little bit violently, but oh well. I loaded up with steel plate and went back to work on my patch job, and realized I forgot metal grids. And when I went back to hook up, I broke my welding ship's connector. Well, I must have been careless, I thought, and replaced the connector, and then eased my way on, up oh so gently to the connector, and then this happened. The pieces you're seeing floating around my bay are smithereens, my friends, which is what my welder was blown into when I tried to connect. Space Engineers is in an early access stage, which I think is somewhere between alpha and beta, which means there will be bugs. The good news is that there are also weekly updates, so I decided to wait a week to see if the bug that caused this got fixed. We'll see. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to grind this stuff and make a new welding ship. I've also come to the realization that I'm thinking too small. Big Eater's not a big enough eater to finish this station in any reasonable amount of time. So I need to stick some large storage and grinders onto something bigger. Something like this. I'm thinking of grinding a hole right down the middle and filling it with at least 3 large cargo containers, and putting a set of grinders in the front, at least 5 of them. Before I do that, I think I need to put some extra thrusters in front to replace the ones I'm going to cut out. Now that we have the frames for the thrusters placed, we'll just park the Big Eater in the shade here and get the new welding ship. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but I learned that meteor storms always come out of the sun. I put more engines on this welding boat, and I also put on a modded welder called a twin welder. It welds at a greater range than the basic welder, which makes big jobs a lot easier. Alrighty, we're ready for the real work to begin. Well, it seems the big eater's too big to fit in the narrow hole I want to cut. So, Big Eater's going to have to go on a diet. And here she is after her diet. Actually, it's more like liposuction, from a cheap plastic surgeon. One with Picasso paintings all over his office. But I managed to get a cockpit that hooks into the oxygen system, and it's one with the door in it, which is cool. And a little patching up, and Mr. Creosote will be ready to dine. Next, we're moving the Infinity into the shadow of the asteroid where we started. I'm using this cargo bay camera so I can make sure the boats don't fall off their connectors or anything like that. Looking good so far. Oh, that gyroscope from the old welding boat is still rattling around in the bay. One moment. All right, on to Shady Hole. Well, folks, that's it for this episode. But don't forget about my other videos, and don't forget to click the like button just down there. I'll be back soon, and until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.